So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about The Revolution of Bertie Randolph. So this is out August 20th. It's my fourth book, my third one with Little Brown. I love the cover, but I also love the book a lot. So I'll just tell you a little bit about it. Bertie Randolph, her actual name is Dove, but her mom calls her Bertie. And they live in Chicago above her mother's hair salon in the neighborhood of Logan Square. Yes, Chicago. So I lived in Chicago briefly. I live in LA now. I lived in Chicago for 4 years. It was actually a little traumatizing for me because of the weather. But I now love going back to visit, and I actually find it super inspirational. My first book point was set in a fake suburb of Chicago, and so I finally went back. I set my next 2 books in LA, and then I finally set another one in Chicago, and it was just so fun. I don't know why it's so inspirational to me. It just feels really good. So anyway, she lives with her mom and dad above her mother's hair salon in Logan Square in Chicago. And Bertie is just sort of like the perfect kid. Her summer is SAT prep. That's what she's doing for the summer, and she has no choice in it. And she makes great grades, and she had to stop playing soccer a couple of years ago because her mom was basically like, if you're playing soccer but you're not going to get a scholarship or you're not going to go pro, you need to just do academics. And so she's like, all right. So she just kind of goes along with what her parents say. She has an older sister, Mimi, who's out of the house now in college, and she just sort of knows that she and Mimi have this path that they're supposed to go on. They're supposed to go to college, get good jobs, probably something that makes a lot of money, like a doctor or a lawyer or something, and that's that. So then Bertie meets this guy named Booker, who is her friends with her best friend, Laz, and they just have this instant connection. But she knows that her parents won't really, I'm going to try not to spoil too much of it, she knows that her parents won't really want her dating him. He's got a messy past that she knows they're not going to like, so she starts secretly dating him. And then at the same time, this woman shows up at their house, her Aunt Carlene, and she's never met her. She doesn't remember much about her. Mom doesn't talk about Carlene at all, which seems really strange to her. So Carlene is fresh out of rehab, and her mom tells her that Carlene's been in rehab on and off since they were teenagers. So there's a lot of tension between her mom and her aunt, and her aunt moves in with them. And she's also a hairdresser, so she's getting her braiding license so she can work in her sister's shop. So there's a lot of, that's about all I can say without spoiling it. There's a lot of family drama, and I think my books aren't necessarily known for their happy romances or romances that work out, but this was one of my favorites to write. With her and Booker, it's just sort of a sweet, first love, kind of forbidden love. Yeah. Lots of family secrets, romance, first love, Chicago, summer, yeah. That's the gist of the book. But I really love it. It was super fun. I was just answering some questions for a media outlet, and they were asking about the writing process, and I was just thinking back, I don't know, I've had a lot of books come out consecutively, so I can't remember when I was writing this, but it was so enjoyable to me. It was just just thinking about it from drafting it to the revisions was really, really fun. And it doesn't always happen with books where you start it and you feel I know this character, I know the story where it's going. But this one I actually sort of knew how it would end. I knew the major plot points, and the characters just really felt deep within me, they'd been waiting for me to write them. So I hope if you read this that you will love it as much as I liked writing it.
So I did not do an intro this morning because I was too busy running out of the house to get to the novel breakfast on time. But that was really fun. And now Kristen and Kristen is busy playing Pokemon Go at the moment. But we are headed to the Javits because the floor opens at 12. So excited. We are fairly confident that most people are going to try to get tickets to Ninth House today, for sure. Which, we both want to read too, but also I do not want to die in the stampede. I've had my fair share of that.
Bad memories from the last few years.
So I think we're gonna avoid that and just go straight to Simon & Schuster, so wish us luck. leaving the Javits now because I have to get to BookExpo for my panel, but it was a fun day. Anyway, so we just wanted to do a quick joint wrap-up-ish of the first day of BookExpo.
Pretty good day.
This year it actually officially started on Wednesday. Normally it doesn't. Normally you can just pick up your badge and the exhibit hall is not.
Yeah, but this
open.
it was all out and crazy and.
So this morning, I have a few clips of it. I went to the novel offices for breakfast, which was really fun. We got to eat breakfast, listen to editors and designers talk about the books, and then we met Brandy Colbert and got a copy of The Revolution of Bertie Randolph, which is very exciting. And then we walked over to the Javits where Mackie was.
Yeah, I totally grabbed my badge. We went in with no expectations. We decided to avoid the 9th House Stampede. I think we made a good life choice. I think Mel was able to grab some.
I know, I saw that, which was great. I'm glad.
Stuff. Ninth house related.
We got very lucky and had a pretty good day, I want to say.
It was a pretty good day.
Like,
a lot of graphic novels.
Yeah, it was weirdly quiet today. I don't
except for the Loki stampede.
Well,
yes, there was a Loki end of the day. Like they had to get like the guards to like the personnel in there to like, please do not like form lines, blah blah blah. And the poor Disney folks were just like, please don't do that. And there people were like still not doing it. And so I'm like, a lot of Loki fans in the house.
Apparently.
Or who's the author?
Mackenzie Lee.
And a lot of Mackenzie Lee fans apparently.
Yeah, but it was really good. So I know
intersection.
Kristen got something she really wanted. The first thing we picked up was Winterwood by Shea Earnshaw, which she really wanted.
Cool.
And like Mackie was saying, we picked up a lot of different graphic novels and stuff. I finally got the Tea Dragon Festival, which I'm very excited about.
Huzzah!
But Mackie also ended up getting me Batman Nightwalker, the graphic novel version,
just
which
randomly.
is so flippin' cool.
Yeah, it was cool. That was fun.
So tomorrow's actually going to be a way busier day because we're on the floor pretty much the entire day.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Oh, I forgot. I also finally did my panel at Blogbound, which was at the Harper offices this year.
Yes,
First of all,
photos.
Really cool that I get to visit the Harper offices. Second of all, the panel was really fun. It was about building community, and I got to talk on it with Eric Smith, Heidi Heilig, and Rachel Strolley. It was really fun. We had a good discussion about what it means when you're building a community, how to do so. You know, all of that good stuff. And it was great, and it was fun.
Yeah.
And now I am just about ready to collapse. I haven't mentioned it in a vlog yet, but since, like, Monday of this week, my hand has been kind of, like, strained. Like, a muscle in it has been strained from fingers to elbow. We're gonna go grab some, like,
warm compresses.
So, it's not been fun. Thankfully, I haven't had to, like, cart anything around too much, so that's been fine. And Mackie's been a good sport.
I've been sporty.
Tomorrow, if I get the book that I want from BookExpo, I will be thrilled. There's 2 of them, like, I can get tomorrow, and I hope I can get them both. And
I have nothing. I just thought I had something, but that was it.
Do you have nothing, really?
Well, like I said, a ton of graphic novels. Not a ton, but just enough. Some really good hauls. Some Buffy and Angel
we're going
reboots.
to the DC thing tomorrow.
We're going to the DC thing tomorrow. Got to see some friends. Well, they're my friends now.
I'm still mad because Mackie actually got to hang out with Mel from Mel to the Any. I didn't get to hang out with Mel.
It was kind of crazy too that they started talking like from last year, and then like this is Mel's first time sort of in BA, and that was kind of cool. She flew all the way in from Vegas, so it was kind of cool.
But it was fun hanging out with Kristen all day because we haven't gotten to do that in a very long time. That was also very entertaining.
Pretty cool.
Had a good time.
Yeah,
anyway,
indeed.
we'll report back tomorrow. Hopefully successfully. Please, Lord, please, please, please. Okay. Anyway, bye. Hello, good morning. It's day 2 of BookExpo today. We get to go together this morning. Ooh, it's lightly raining now.
It's a shimmer.
Had an early night yesterday, which was nice. I am still feeling that twinge in my hand that I mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But it's fine. Dressing cute but rain appropriate because it is kind of like gloomy, which is not what I signed up for. But
I didn't know such thing. You could see my socks through my shoes.
Oh, we have matching backpacks on because Mackie used my backpack and I used the pink version of it, so that's fun. Yeah, so we're heading to the Javits now to meet Kristen, and then we have a couple of things that are on our to-do list, but one of the first things that all 3 of us are doing today is going to a preview for all the DC Inc. titles, which should be fun. Mackie and Kristen both snagged some of them yesterday.
I got Black Canary.
You also got me Batman.
And I got her Batman. Although that's more of a graphic novel of Night Runner than it was. Night Runner?
Nightwalker!
Sorry, there was another.
Run, he walks.
There is another Batman Inc. character named Night Runner, I think.
Anyway, so that's that. Two of my most anticipated titles are dropping today. One is for signing, one is an ARC drop, so we'll see. I really want the one that's in, well, actually I want them both. What am I kidding? Who am I kidding? So we'll see if I can get them both. Fingers crossed. Don't try. Anyway, wish us luck. We'll see you soon. Bye!
Alrighty, here we go. Hey everyone.
Excuse the post-day face because I am tired.
It is day 2 and we are pretty much done.
It was a good day. We had a lot of good things. We ended up sort of, well, we didn't get the one thing we wanted at 9 a.m., which is Starlessy, which I have like a whole story about this. I'm not going to bore you with it, but suffice to say it's been very frustrating. But anyway, in other news, we ended up having a really good time at the DC like press preview thing.
That was a great. That was highlight of the entire expo.
It was basically for their middle grade and YA graphic novels coming out, and which is really cool.
Yeah, which I think is like pretty great. That it's almost kind of manga sized, you know, like and they've been around for a while, but for DC to sort of like double down and release both middle grade and sort of YA, titles. Black Canary, Raven, Super Sons, Dear Justice League, which I think is hilarious, and I think even if you're even if it was like a targeted like little children, like 12 and below, I'm reading it because it's a bunch of little kids writing the Justice League like sort of stuff, and so that was great.
In fact, like hearing them talk about it too, it just made me want to read all of it more.
Yeah, and authors like Meg Cabot, of Princess Diaries fame, although that's not the only thing she's famous for.
Daniel Page, Cami Garcia,
who I love. Marika Tamaki was there there too.
It was really fun. And one of the artists was there too. I don't remember his name. Isaac something.
Yes, but
he was also very personal.
He was very cinnamon rolly, I think.
I know. We were like, he seems like a really cute Hufflepuff.
He does give off that vibe.
But yeah, that was really fun. And then after that, we sort of split up to go to different things. I missed something else that I wanted, but I still have a chance for it tomorrow, so we'll see.
Yeah, so...
but then we ended up just like doing a bunch of drops and stuff. The most exciting thing I got today was Girls of Storm and Shadow, which is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, which I read last year and I really loved. And I got to meet Natasha now, and she is so nice. She is so nice. Like, I'm so happy I finally got to meet her in person. So that was fun. And I also got to see a lot of my friends today, which was fun too.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
like I hung out. We basically saw Jamie, Heidi, hung out with DJ and Lily and Kristen for a while. Saw Mel for a while, which was really fun, and Bethany for a while, so that was a good time. What about you? You should tell them about your double win.
Basically lined up. For the first one, Laura was there. And then we were able to sort of get in line for Race to the Sun, which is the Native American reordered imprint. And then we've got the one by Kwame Mbale, I think. Totally butchering that. Tristan Strong punches the hole in the sky or some such.
Which I love that title.
And it was great, right? And on my second round, like the dude handing out the arcs was like, "I know you. You're a repeat customer." I'm like, "Yes, I am."
What he doesn't know is that Maki was also the one who picked up all of those arcs at BA last year.
That is all true. So
we're very big on reordered.
Yeah, we love Uncle Rick. This is on days that this is not the House of Bane. This is the House of Uncle Rick. So
some of the day it's Uncle Rick's house. Some of the day it's Magnus Bane's. I mean, actually, by day it's Uncle Rick's house.
But it's true though. By night it is the House of Bane. So
I'm still such Shadowhunter trash. This is so sad.
It's really great. Anyway, so yeah, that was a very good day 2. Had a great time, and more to come.
Yes.
3 more days.
It's gonna be fun.
Bye.
Good morning, everybody. It is day 3 of BookExpo today.
It's a very good day.
It's going to be a shorter day on the floor for once. They are closing at 3 today. It's probably because they had the floor open on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Major goals for me today are to get Emery Lord's new book.
Garth Nix's Angel Mage is dropping at 1. Shall I achieve my mission?
And then I don't remember what else is going on. But I will be going to the Fear Streets party and then the Big Honjo party a little later with some of my friends, which is gonna be fun.
I am going to be writing up the Shadowhunters themed RPG.
Oh yeah, so while we've been at BA, it's been a whole year since Mackie first like broached this plan.
And out of nowhere, unbidden like memories of me on the floor, sort of with Kristen, while we were waiting for Wildcard, sort of discussing her half Fae, half Elven character. In which case I also met with Andrew, discuss his human rogue.
Yeah, it's been 1 year since they also met up and discussed things. And we have been playing that same D&D game ever since. We're almost done. 1 more or 2 more, I want to say runs.
Let's do 2 more.
Okay,
probably.
let's say 2 more runs.
So we'll finish the run right around the anniversary of when we started playing.
Which was in July. So, the one thing I will mention is that aside from that game, Mackie's decided to start tinkering around in his mind with the Shadowhunters game. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna try it like online with some friends.
It's like an Elseworld Shadowhunters game, so that'll be fun.
I like how Elseworlds has managed to weave into her vernacular.
It's gonna be fun because it started as being such a small group of people and then it kept getting bigger and bigger. As of last count, I'm pretty sure it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people already.
And a friend was like, you guys should stream it, and I'm just like, I don't want Cassie Claire's people to come after us because
I mean, we're gonna have fun when we play it. So
unless and we're very sensitive to copyright and all that good stuff, but
oh yeah, this is all just for fun. It's not something we do for profit or anything.
But I will go like whole 9 yards by creating character sheets and like
it'll be great.
Using rune cards so that if anybody wants to play Nephilim, they get to earn new runes.
Cassandra Clare, I'm still sad that I will not get to see her while she's at BookCon. Kristen will. She's gonna get to see her for the first time, which is great. But I'm still sad about it. However, on Tuesday, guess what? It's Ghost of the Shadow Market Day.
It is.
I'm gonna say that again. It's Ghost of the Shadow Market Day, which means we get the short stories that are all tied together by Brother Zechariah or Jump Crysters, whichever you want.
Spoiler!
I know it's a spoiler, but everyone knows because of the way they've been talking about that book. So yeah, so hopefully we'll have a good time on the floor. I will try to take more footage today. Oh, in other news, guess who we saw from afar yesterday? And it was great. We actually...
Just as great as seeing the other person up close with baby.
Oh yes, so we got to see, we ran into Sarah J. Mass's husband and their baby on the floor. Very cute. It's been a while since we've seen them. Actually no, it's not been a while for me, just kidding. I saw them in March, so it's been like 2 months. And then we saw Sarah from afar. She's in meetings and stuff, which is cool because she's not here for public stuff, like public signings or anything. But it was nice to see her, even from afar. The quiet before it all begins. Okay, got it. I was like, hello, we're currently waiting in Carrie Maniscalco's line. Say hi. I have been very bad at vlogging on the floor, so let's fix that. Anyway, we got the first thing we wanted today, which is Twice in a Blue Moon, which is very exciting. Can't wait to read it, and I love this cover. And Kristen got something that she's very excited about, which you'll see in her vlog, so look at it later. Okay, bye!
Before I talk about Rebel, I just wanted to say how awesome I think the book blogger community is. I didn't have book blogs to go to when I was a kid. I really would have appreciated that because I feel like if your blogs have been around when I was a kid, I would have been following every single one of them. Like I didn't know where to go to find out new titles and what was coming out, and we didn't have YA at the time either, so it was a very different time. But I just really appreciate what all of you do in spreading the word about books and spreading the word about our books. So thank you guys so much for that. And also, it feels really weird to be here talking again about Legend. Legend came out 8 years ago, and I kind of can't believe it's been 8 years, and I feel really old when I say that now, because I can still remember being the debut at BEA and talking about Legend when it was coming out. It's really exciting and anxiety-inducing for me to be talking again about this story and these characters that have been in my head for so long. Rebel is kind of a culmination of the Legend series, but also a little bit of Warcross, which is my other duology. They're all set in the same world. When I first started writing Legend, it was 2009, I think. I remember the reason why I started writing it was because I saw the old movie version of Les Mis on TV. This is the one with Liam Neeson in it. I was just watching it and thinking about nothing in particular when it kind of occurred to me that, oh, it would be really fun to do a teen version of this story, like a teen criminal versus a teen detective chasing each other down. And I kind of put that idea on the side and I went back, thought about it a little bit more. And then 2 weeks passed and I went online and read this article about how our fresh water was going to be going away, and in 100 years, after everything's melted, our oceans would be rising 100 meters and everything would be underwater and, doom and gloom. So I was reading this and they had this simulation of a map of what the world would look like in 100 years. I was looking at California because I live in LA. And there was this huge lake that stretched from LA all the way up to San Francisco. My first thought, what probably shouldn't have been my first thought, was like, oh my God, it would be really cool to set a story in my flooded hometown of Los Angeles. So that's how I got the setting for Legend. I put that together with the idea of writing a story about a teen criminal versus a teen detective. I started writing Legend. And I didn't know it was going to be a trilogy at the time. I don't plan out my books that way. They just kind of fall into whatever number of books, they fit into. But I knew it was going to be longer than one book. I just kind of let it go and see where it would take me. So I was developing the world at the same time that I was writing the books. And I remember halfway through book 2, I was coming up with this ultra-futuristic society of Antarctica that existed 100 years in the future. It is a society that is completely gamified. So everything is judged based on points. So for example, if you watered a plant and you were nice, you would get a point. And if you did well on a test, you would get 10 points. And if you did badly on a test, you would maybe lose 5 points. And if you got in a fight, you would lose 20 points. And all of these points would get compiled into your score in life. And depending on that score and how good it was, you could then go grocery shopping at the nice part of town, or buy a house in the nice part of town, or take the bus, or get first class tickets, and so on and so forth. There's like a credit score but on steroids. So that was the idea for Antarctica. It shows up in the 3rd book of the original trilogy, just for a little bit, for like a couple of chapters. And I had such a good time writing those couple of chapters. Like, I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when I was writing those chapters, and I never got to go back and explore that some more. After the trilogy ended, I got a lot of questions from readers who were like, what happens after, it's kind of an open ending, so I got a lot of questions like, what happens to the characters? Do they, find happiness? I was like, I don't know, the trilogy ended. So after a while, I was like, maybe I should actually answer this question, because I get it a lot. It's like my number 1 most frequently asked question. But I didn't know what story to write yet. I knew I wanted to write something set in Antarctica with some of the characters from the original trilogy. And I wanted it to be a kind of a standalone story, something that people could go into if they hadn't read the original trilogy or were kind of curious about the world but wanted to start off with this book. So I started writing Warcross. Warcross was a duology that I wrote in between those. I wanted to figure out how a gamified society comes to existence. I used to work in video games, which is why I'm really interested in the idea of gamification, and I'm just interested in tech and the future, and it scares me and it excites me. So I wanted to explore those things before I wrote a novel set in a world like that. So I wrote Warcross, which is all about what happens when a game takes the world by storm and people start using it for basically everything. So it took me those 2 books before I actually was able to get into a place where I knew what would happen after the events of the Legend trilogy. So I wrote Warcross, I wrote Wildcard. Halfway through the ending of Wildcard, I started to think about what would happen in a book like Rebel. I started to think about, what is the aftermath of surviving a war? What do you do when you come to a new society that is completely different from your own? The Republic in Legend is kind of a anti-technology place. It's less technologically developed than our own. Things are crumbling. And by contrast, Antarctica is hyper-developed. It's very, very futuristic. And what is it like to jump into that kind of world? What is it like to be someone who was incredibly desperately poor in the Republic, jumping into a place that is the world's most advanced nation? I wanted to explore all of those things, and at the same time, a lot of interesting things were happening in our political world that have changed a lot of things forever over the last 8 years. So a lot of those thoughts were going through my head of what happens when tyrants take over, and how does a nation fall, and all of these questions. So a lot of big things. And at the same time, I also felt kind of bad because I had put my characters through so much crap in the Legend trilogy, and I know a lot of readers were just like, I just want a happy ending for these guys. So I'm like, well, okay, so I'm gonna write another book for them, but a book must have conflict, so they're gonna go through some more crap in Rebel, but hopefully the readers of the original trilogy and new readers coming to it will enjoy what happens to the characters at the end. And it has been a really emotional journey writing this final book. I don't think there will be any more books starring the Legend characters. I think this is the actual ending for them. But it was really, really nice to go back and hear their voices again in my head, which makes me sound totally not all here. But they feel like real people to me. They've been in my head for so long. And it was interesting going back to visit them because they sounded like they had aged too. They had grown up and they had become adults in a sense and had new problems and new emotions that they were dealing with. It was very much an emotional journey for me to discover that, and I hope the readers enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys so much again for all that you do in the book community and for following me along these years, and I hope you guys like it. Thank you.
So we are here at the lounge for the big Honcho Media Party, which we're very excited about. Kristen is here, and Rachel's here, Alex is here. Just waving at people. Anyway, it's gonna be fun. The theme is rainbows and unicorns, which A+ theme, so I'm very excited. It's gonna be fun. BookCon day 1, and I'm waiting for DJ in Crystal Palace. It's already crowded and it's kind of crazy, so we'll see how it goes. Our goal today is Starless Sea, so fingers crossed. We finally can end this whole saga of not getting the thing that we all wanted to get, because by some stroke of luck, we ended up being very, very, very early on in a particular signing line, which Kristen can show you because I have too many things in my hand. Ta-da! We finally got it! We made it! And it's signed! And we got to meet her, and she's so nice!
She's so nice.
I'm so excited to read this book. So happy we finally made it.
It feels really nice.
I feel like it's gonna be one of the earliest ones I read, just because.
Oh, for sure. We're buddy reading.
We have to. I'm so excited. Okay, bye. So it is the last day of this entire Bookish New Year week. It is day 2 of BookCon. I am heading out a little early without Mackie again because we're just going to meet up at the Javits later. BookCon was surprisingly weirdly relaxed for us yesterday. It was really nice. I got the chance to oh my god, first of all, we finally got the Starless Sea, which was amazing. I'm pretty sure there's a clip of that somewhere. And second of all, we ended up just sitting and talking to Margaret Rogerson and Anissa from Fairy Loot and Ashley Poston for an hour or two, which was really cool. And we also got to meet Elizabeth Lim. And then we just wandered for a bit, and then went to the Penguin Random House Ice Cream Social, which was really fun. I got to see my friend Jess there. She works with Berkeley Romance, which is awesome. And it was just good to see a lot of familiar faces and to hang out and do all the things. And then I promptly went home and collapsed, which has to be expected. So one last hurrah today, off to breakfast with friends, so that's gonna be fun too.
I want each of our esteemed panelists to introduce themselves and their book with a specific lens. I would like you to introduce your books through the lens of the power and magic in your story. So instead of telling us the plot, I would like you to tell us a pitch for your novel, for your most recent novel, for the novel of your choice, or your up-and-coming, or your series, and tell us about specifically the role of magic and power as it defines your stories. Who wants to start?
Oh gosh, okay, everyone's looking at me. I'm like, that was the best intro ever. So my name is Stephanie Garber, and I'm author of the Caraval series. My most recent book, Finale, came out like 3 weeks ago, and this is actually really specific to the book. Like, it's all like, the whole book is about this struggle between magic and power, and this is kind of a small spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, you can close your ears. But in Finale, love and immortality cannot coexist. That's it. Oh, yeah.
That gives me leave to go really short with mine too. Okay, my name is Melissa Albert. I'm the author of The Hazelwood and the upcoming sequel. And my book is about a girl who has always felt powerless and she doesn't know why. And it is about the power of being the person to tell your own story and kind of the hunt to reclaim that power.
Hi, I'm Margaret Rogerson, the author of Sorcery of Thorns. My book contains magical libraries that are designed to hold living grimoires that are sentient and dangerous. They're brought to life by sorcery, and in this world, sorcerers gain their power by making Faustian bargains with demons.
Absolutely, please.